What's good, YouTube? It's Pokemaster88 bringing you Week 8, Season 5 of the BHDL. This week we are playing DRVR and the Fear Rippers. He's a brand new coach. He's doing really well. We actually have the exact same record. We're both 4-3. This game is really important to both our seasons because this is kind of determines who's going to get in the playoffs. You know, right now I'm in 7th, he's in 9th, but a win here for either side can really change the way the standings look. So, yeah. And with that being said, we're going to hop into the matchup. And off the bat, right, I look at the Solgaleo, the Dragapult, the Iron Valiant. Very good. Fairy Dragon Steel Core. Ditto is Ditto. It can really abuse my sweepers against me if it's scarfed. Torn is a solid Terra Cap. Alamola, very bulky, very hard to kill. Talonflame is a phenomenal defogger. Can be offensive, but I don't think it will in this matchup. And Cryo, right? Don't see it coming. And there's Gliscor, Klefki, and Bisharp who, you know, I don't see any of those things coming. But on my side, right, I think my opponent doesn't have the best water switch-ins. I think Alamola is and Dragapult his best switch-ins, but I get Thunderbolt for Alamola. Now I do gotta be concerned about the Mirror Coat, so that is something to look out for. Spectre has a decent matchup, but I wouldn't say it's great because you know, there's an Alamola right there, and again, Mirror Coat. But if I can position this Pokemon, I can see how it could win, right? Ghost Stab looks generally pretty free on my opponent's side if he doesn't bring Bisharp. Infernape. Infernape has a phenomenal speed tier. We outspeed Solgaleo, we outspeed Thundurus. We outspeed Cryo, right? So Infernape's speed tier here looks amazing. So yeah, that's pretty much what I see here. It's just gonna be a very good game overall. Or well, hopefully it's a good game. But I think this matchup is gonna be a pretty tough match because DRVR has been playing pretty well for the most part. You know what I'm saying? So let me just hop into the first Pokemon and why. And we got our boy Infernape. We are rocking 252 attack. We're rocking 200 speed. This allows us to outrun Thundurus if it's not scarfed. We are Terra Fairy, Jolly, Iron Fist. This Terra Fairy allows me to pretty much lead with this Pokemon safely if he's trying to lead Pult. I'm AV, so if he wants to Draco or Darts or Shadow Ball, the combination of those moves, right, I can take it with my AV and my Terra Fairy, so we should be able to lead into Pult just fine. Now, worst case scenario, he calls the Terra Fairy, he goes for a Thunder Wave or a Will-O-Wisp. I mean, that could be a thing, right? That could be very annoying. But I am rocking an Assault Vest, like I said. Fire Punch, Thunder Punch, Knock off Terra Blast. Fire Punch hits Solgaleo. I would run Flare Blitz. I probably should be running Flare Blitz, but I didn't really want the recoil because I need this thing. I need this thing's HP in this game, right? Thunder Punch hits Alamola. Knockoff removes leftovers or anything like that Alamola is carrying. And then we have Terra Blast to hit Dragapult, right? If it's full, we don't kill it, but after rocks, we can kill that Pokemon, so that's something to keep in mind. But that is Infernape for this week. Moving on, here we have our boy Electros. Originally, we did have Loki's planned for this team, but we just kept losing over and over again. So here we are at the very last minute, adding Electros to the team. And we are 248 HP, 252 Spadef, Sassy Nature, and this pretty much helps us take on Thunderiz, helps out with Pole, helps us consistently beat Alamola, because we got Super Fang, Discharge, Knockoff, and Rest. With the Chesto Berry, Rest allows us to keep healthy, maybe play a little bit more aggressive with our Electros to get off a Rest, because I can get off of Rest on Alamola if I get off Para from Discharge, and that's the reason why we have Super Fame, because if this thing wants to run Mirror Coat, we can actually Super Fang it and then Discharge it and kill it. So that's something we could actually do to Alamola to get around Mirror Coat, because before I had Electros on this team, Palkia was the only way to really beat Alamola with Thunderbolt, and I was always getting Mirror Coated. So this is Electros' first game off the bench. He is gonna be in the lineup for this week, and he's gonna be kicking some ass. So I'm very glad to have Electros, and yeah. To our baby girl Tinkaton, and we are rocking pretty much a Spadef Tinkaton, right? This is primarily for like Valiant, if it's like special, Polt, right? I can take a Flamethrower or Fire Blast with my Akaberry. 248, 252. So yeah, we're almost full Spadef here. Gigaton Hammer, because it's my best stab to hit everything that's not Talonflame, Alamola, Solgaleo, but I can, it does invite those mons in, so I can get on my rocks, maybe get off a knockoff, maybe get on a Thunder Wave. So this is Tinkaton for this week. Pretty important. I need to keep this Pokemon and Infernape healthy, one or the other, because if Pulse not chipped, or even if you know, if Valiant wants to go for like a Moonblast or something on this mon, we should be able to take it, you know what I mean? We should be able to take it just fine. But if I lose this or Infernape, we could lose to Valiant, we could lose to Holt. So it's gonna be a very tough matchup this week, so I got to be ready. And we are moving on to our next Pokemon, which is Palkia Origin. We are running 252 special attack, 220 speed. This outruns a non-booster Valiant. We are Surf, because it literally hits everything except for Aloe and Pult for super effective damage, or Neutral. We are Sub, because this is what I have in mind. I can probably sub on Alamola, right? Sub on Alamola and avoid the Mirror Coat. You know, maybe I can get off 2 big Thunderbolts and probably kill it. Thunder Wave slows down Solgaleo. Yes, we're faster, but if this thing wants to start flame charging, anything like that, we can slow it down. We could slow down Pulse, right? Or even Iron Valiant. Like Iron Valiant, if he decides to Spirit Break or Moonblast and he's not Specs or Banded, we can take one from full and kill it with the Surf. So yeah, if I can keep this Pokemon around after Dragapult goes down, Sub is pretty free in this matchup. So yeah, moving on, we got our boy Snorlax. We are rocking 200 HP, 184 defense, and 124 Spadef. We are Curse, Recycle Facade Crunch, and pretty much the way this works, we get Curse up, and we can set up, and we don't lose to this Snorlax set. So the goal is not to curse up too much, because I have Tinkaton to switch into Facade if he does bring Ditto and he wants to use my Snorlax against me. So we don't lose to this Pokemon. And if it is Scarfed, right, we have our... Well, I will get into that later, but yeah. Curse, Facade, Crunch, Recycle. I can't lose to this Pokemon if that Ditto is Scarf right now. Last week against Al, he didn't run a Scarf Ditto, so that could be a thing, figuring out what the item is, but we can take on Solgaleo with this set, and I really wanted Heavy Slam on Snorlax, but I couldn't hit Solgaleo, so I went for Crunch. Now, I am running Facade. Now, this is the thing that I'm running into that's kind of crazy. So, Facade is cool, right? Because Talonflame is a good switch into this to kind of cheese or fish for the burn. So that's the main reason why Facade's here. But then it powers up my Facade because I'm burned, but then it weakens my Crunch. So that is something to look out for. So if Solgaleo does want to come in and start getting crazy, yeah, that could be a standoff there because he could be Morning Sun, and I'm burned with Crunch. Now, I could continue to curse and set up, but I gotta be mindful of Ditto with Ditto's in the back. But yeah, that's Snorlax for this week, and we are moving on to our next Pokemon. Here we have our boy Spectre. We are rocking max special tag, 140 horse speed, which outruns Iron Valiant if it's not booster. We have 112 defense to lift like Shadow Sneaks and maybe a Sunstone Strike from Solgaleo. But we are Hex, Psychic, Will-O-Wisp. Psychic is primarily for Valiant. If Solgaleo's gone, I can just kill this thing from full with Psychic. Hex is pretty much for just hexing everything because I am running a kind of a Hex team this week. A lot of Thunderwave Mons. I got Will-O-Wisp just in case he wants to go Alamola. I can just get the Willow off and start hexing it later. You know, ideally, I probably want a Para on Alamola just to kind of, you know, slow it down from wishing and passing and flip turning. But if I can position this Mon late game, if Dragapult is chipped, if things are paralyzed, late game I can just literally just click Hex and start going crazy. So having this Mon healthy in the back is going to be very important, I would say. So Spectre, you got this. We need this game for playoffs, and yeah, you won't let us down. Here we have our keys to victory. So we have quite a lot of things to cover here. Avoid getting swept by our own Pokemon. Spectre, Snorlax, I'm looking at you. We are running Curse, and we have Grimnay on our Spectre, and Curse on Snorlax, so we gotta make sure Ditto is not in position to beat us in the late game. Number 2, Iron Valiant is very, very insane here, especially if it's a physical set, because I don't have Dondozo this week, so switching around this Mon if it's physical is going to be very, very difficult. I'm expecting it to have Shadow Sneak for Spectre. Spread status to click Hex with Spectre is very, very important. We need to make sure that Thunder Waves are being spread, we're getting up rocks, and yeah, you know, we're running a Scar Spectre this week, so if we can get Thunder Wave Hexes on everything on the team, we could maybe snowball with Spectre in the end game. This does make Holt respect Spectre a little bit more, right? And like I said before, getting at rocks is quite important for my team's success, so Tingaton, you have a very important job. I don't think he's going to be bringing, you know, spikes, but I think Talonflame is going to come, so keeping those rocks up is going to be very, very important. So with that being said, give your California TrailBlazers the best of luck this week. This is a playoff matchup. Not a playoff matchup, but it's a playoff determining game, if you will. So, yeah, man. Pokemaster is out.